What is going on, my Houston Texans family? Happy 713 day. We are H-Town till we drown over here. Over the past 2 days, ESPN has been ranking the top 10 players at each position. They did the safeties yesterday. They did the tight ends today. Both Jalen Pitre and Dalton Schultz were on the list. However, both were outside of the top 10. We're given honorable mentions, and I think this is how it's going to go for the rest of the season until the Houston Texans prove that they are ready to take the next step. The honorable mention is a good sign that people are paying attention to the Texans. However, to get in that top 10, to get the respect, you have to win some football games. We are going to read what ESPN said about our second-year safety and our new #1 tight end. But before we do that, guys, welcome everyone to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calavillo. I drop daily Houston Texans content. Follow my TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I'm going to put the links down there below. We are so close to 7K subscribers, so if you are new here to the channel, feel free to like, comment, and definitely hit that sub button. Now, ESPN, like I said yesterday, they did the safeties. Jalen Pitre, not in the top 10. An honorable mention. And it goes, Pitre was the NFL's only player to register at least 140 tackles and 5 interceptions last season. Absolutely crazy. He balled out last year. It's just nobody knows it because he plays in Houston. An AFC scout said he's going to be really good for a really long time. We know that Houston media doesn't really get the respect that they deserve. We see it happening with our young players here. But when you go back and look at the stats of what Jalen Pitre did in his rookie season, 147 combined tackles, absolutely insane. A sack, 8 pass defense, 5 interceptions. 2 of them were against the Chicago Bears. That was an absolute game changer. He also picked off Massage Watson. Jalen Pitre was one of the bright spots on the Houston Texans defense last year. And under new head coach DeMeco Ryans and new defensive coordinator Matt Burke, we are expecting him to flourish. We are expecting him to take the next step. Me personally, I view Jalen Pitre as a potential Pro Bowl, All-Pro type player next year. And like the end of the quote said, he is going to be good for a really long time. I see Jalen Pitre being a staple here in Houston. He is from the age. I think he still lives with his parents, trying to save some money. Shout out to Jalen Pitre, man. Expecting a huge year 2 from him. Now, switching to the tight ends, the Houston Texans gave Dalton Schultz a 1-year, $6.2 million deal. And it was a huge signing for the Houston Texans because what came after that just a couple minutes later, Devin Singletary. This was the icing of the cake for a very solid free agency. And we are excited to see what Dalton Schultz does in year 1 with the Houston Texans and rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. Once again, was not on the top 10 list, but given an honorable mention. A lot like Dallas Goedert, just a little smaller, but does everything really well, an AFC scout said. Should catch 50 to 60 balls again. Schultz has collected 2,122 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns across his 5-year NFL career. An NFL exec added, very natural, the game makes so much sense to him. When you look at his 5-year career, it really is a 3-year career, right? His first 2 years, no touchdowns, 116 yards his rookie year. He played in 11 games, starting 7. In his sophomore year, he played in 16 games, didn't start any, only caught 1 ball for 6 yards. However, in year 3, this is where he see him take off. And in this 3-year span, he becomes a top 5 tight end in the league. In 2020, he caught 63 balls for 615 yards with 4 touchdowns. In 2021, he caught 78 balls, 808 yards, and 8 touchdowns. This year, with Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott, he caught 57 passes, 577 yards, and 5 touchdowns. In that 3-year span, 17 touchdowns, that's top 5 amongst tight ends. His targets, almost 283 in the past 3 years, that was 4th amongst tight ends. And his yards, almost 2,000 yards, which was 7th amongst tight ends. Dalton Schultz is going to be really good for this Houston Texans team. And I am making a hot take. I think Dalton Schultz is going to be the leading receiver for this Houston Texans team next year. Well, no current number one wide receiver right now, right? Is it going to be Nico? Is it going to be Robert Woods? Is it going to be John Minchie? Tank Dell? No one knows. Dalton Schultz over the past 3 years showed he can be a reliable target, showed that he could make plays in the end zone. 17 touchdowns in the past 3 years is absolutely crazy. I love me some Dalton Schultz, and I think he's going to be dynamic here for the Houston Texans. Let me know how you feel about Jalen Pitre and Dalton Schultz not being in the top 10, but getting honorable mentions. I like it. I understand it. The Houston Texans, if you want to enter that top 10, you start winning some football games. I am so excited, guys. For more Houston Texans content, feel free to follow me for more. Go Houston. Have a very blessed day.